Have you recently received a CP notice from the IRS and are wondering what it means? You're not alone. Many taxpayers find these letters in their mailbox and feel a wave of concern. In this video, we'll break down what a CP notice is, why you might receive one, and what steps you should take next. We'll guide you through the process, helping you understand the reasons behind these notices and how to respond appropriately. Let's start by understanding the basics of IRS CP notices and why they are sent out to taxpayers. A CP notice is an official letter sent by the IRS to inform you about an issue or update related to your tax account. The CP stands for computer paragraph, which refers to the automated system the IRS uses to generate these notices. Each CP notice has a specific number, like CP2000 or CP14, which indicates the type of issue or information being communicated. These notices can cover a range of topics, from changes in your tax return to requests for payment or additional information. Understanding the type of CP notice you received is the first step in addressing it properly. There are several types of CP notices, each addressing a different issue. For example, a CP2000 notice usually means the IRS found a discrepancy between your tax return and information reported by employers or financial institutions. A CP14 notice, on the other hand, is a bill for unpaid taxes. Other notices may request additional documentation or clarify information on your return. Knowing which type of CP notice you received will help you understand the IRS's concerns and what actions you need to take. Receiving a CP notice can be unsettling, but it usually means the IRS needs to communicate something specific about your tax situation. The most common reasons include discrepancies in reported income, missing or incorrect information, unpaid taxes, or requests for additional documentation. Sometimes, the IRS simply needs to confirm details or notify you of changes to your account. It's important to read the notice carefully to understand the exact reason and what is being asked of you. The IRS uses advanced computer systems to cross-check the information you provide on your tax return with data from employers, banks, and other sources. If the system detects a mismatch or missing information, it automatically generates a CP notice to alert you. This process helps ensure that tax returns are accurate and that everyone pays the correct amount of tax. Understanding this system can help you see why even small errors or omissions can trigger a notice. One of the most common CP notices is the CP2000, which is sent when the IRS believes you have underreported your income. This usually happens if the income reported by your employer or financial institution doesn't match what you reported on your tax return. The notice will detail the differences and propose changes to your tax liability. If you receive a CP2000, it's important to review the information carefully and respond by the deadline provided. A CP14 notice is another common letter from the IRS, and it means you have a balance due. This notice is essentially a bill for unpaid taxes. It will specify the amount you owe, including any penalties or interest, and provide instructions on how to pay. Ignoring a CP14 notice can lead to further collection actions, so it's important to address it promptly, even if you disagree with the amount. If you receive a CP12 notice, it means the IRS has made changes to your tax return that resulted in a refund adjustment. This could be due to a math error or incorrect information on your original return. The notice will explain the changes and let you know if you're getting a different refund amount than expected. Always review the details to ensure the IRS's calculations are correct. A CP5 notice means your tax refund is being reviewed by the IRS. This doesn't necessarily mean there's a problem, but the IRS needs more time to verify certain information. The notice will explain what's being reviewed and how long the process might take. During this time, you may be asked to provide additional documents or clarification. A CP3219A notice, also known as a notice of deficiency, is sent when the IRS proposes changes to your tax return that result in additional tax owed. This notice gives you the right to challenge the IRS's findings in tax court if you disagree. It's important to respond within the time frame specified, or the IRS's changes will become final. When you receive a CP notice, it's crucial to read it carefully. The notice will include your name, tax year, notice number, and a detailed explanation of the issue. It will also provide instructions on how to respond and a deadline for doing so. Make sure to check all the details, including the amounts and any supporting documents mentioned. After receiving a CP notice, don't panic. The first step is to read the notice thoroughly and understand what the IRS is asking. Gather any relevant documents, such as your tax return, W-2 seconds, or 1099s, and compare them to the information in the notice. If you agree with the IRS, follow the instructions to resolve the issue. If you disagree, you'll need to provide supporting documentation or contact the IRS for clarification. Timely response is key when dealing with IRS notices. Most CP notices include a deadline for your reply. If you need more time, you may be able to request an extension. Always respond in writing and keep copies of all correspondence for your records. If you're making a payment, follow the instructions exactly to avoid delays or additional penalties. If you disagree with the information in your CP notice, you have the right to dispute it. Gather evidence that supports your position, such as pay stubs, bank statements, or corrected forms. Write a clear explanation and send it to the IRS along with your supporting documents. The IRS will review your response and notify you of their decision. If you still disagree, you may have further appeal options. Ignoring a CP notice can lead to serious consequences, including additional penalties, interest, and even collection actions like wage garnishment or bank levies. The IRS may also file a tax lien against your property. It's always better to address the notice promptly, even if you're unsure how to proceed. Seeking professional help can prevent these issues from escalating. If you have questions about your CP notice, you can contact the IRS directly. The notice will include a phone number and sometimes an address for written correspondence. When calling, have your notice and tax information handy. Be prepared for wait times, especially during peak tax season. Written communication is often preferred for record keeping and clarity. If you're unsure how to respond to a CP notice or if the issue is complex, consider seeking help from a tax professional. Enrolled agents, CPAs, and tax attorneys have experience dealing with the IRS and can guide you through the process. They can help you understand your options, prepare responses, and represent you in communications with the IRS. Maintaining organized tax records can make responding to CP notices much easier. Keep copies of your tax returns, W-2 seconds, 1099s, and any correspondence with the IRS. Good record keeping helps you quickly verify information and provide documentation if needed. It also protects you in case of future audits or disputes. To reduce the chances of receiving future CP notices, double-check your tax return for accuracy before filing. Make sure all income is reported and that your personal information matches IRS records. Use tax software or consult a professional to catch common errors. Staying proactive can help you avoid unnecessary stress and correspondence with the IRS. IRS notices always include a deadline for your response. Missing this deadline can result in additional penalties or loss of appeal rights. Mark important dates on your calendar and set reminders to ensure you respond on time. If you need more time, contact the IRS as soon as possible to request an extension. Once you respond to a CP notice, the IRS will review your information and make a determination. This process can take several weeks, depending on the complexity of the issue. The IRS will send you a follow-up letter with their decision or next steps. If further action is needed, the notice will explain what to do next. If you disagree with the IRS's final decision after responding to a CP notice, you may have the right to appeal. The notice will explain your appeal rights and the process for requesting a review. Appeals can be made within the IRS or, in some cases, through the U.S. tax court. It's important to act quickly and provide all necessary documentation to support your case. The IRS website offers a wealth of resources to help you understand and respond to CP notices. You can find explanations for each type of notice, sample letters, and frequently asked questions. There are also online tools for checking your account status and making payments. Using these resources can help you resolve issues more efficiently. Sometimes, CP notices can be a sign of identity theft if the IRS detects suspicious activity on your account. If you suspect fraud, contact the IRS immediately and follow their instructions for protecting your identity. The IRS has special procedures and resources to help victims of tax-related identity theft. Be aware that scammers sometimes send fake IRS notices to trick taxpayers into providing personal information or making payments. The IRS will never ask for payment via gift cards or threaten you with immediate arrest. Always verify the authenticity of any notice by checking the IRS website or calling the official IRS number listed on their site. If your CP notice says you owe money but you can't pay in full, don't ignore it. The IRS offers payment plans and other options to help you manage your tax debt. Contact the IRS to discuss your situation and set up an installment agreement if needed. Acting early can help you avoid additional penalties and interest. An installment agreement allows you to pay your tax debt over time. The IRS will work with you to set up a monthly payment plan based on your financial situation. You can apply online, by mail, or by phone. Make sure to keep up with your payments to avoid defaulting on the agreement. In some cases, you may qualify for an offer in compromise, which allows you to settle your tax debt for less than the full amount owed. The IRS will consider your ability to pay income, expenses, and asset equity. This option is only available to taxpayers who meet specific criteria and can demonstrate financial hardship. If you have a good reason for not paying or filing on time, You may qualify for penalty abatement. The IRS may remove certain penalties if you can show reasonable cause, such as illness, natural disaster, or other circumstances beyond your control. Submit a written request explaining your situation and include any supporting documentation. If your CP notice is related to a joint return and you believe your spouse or former spouse is solely responsible for the issue, you may qualify for innocent spouse relief. This provision allows you to avoid liability for taxes, interest, and penalties resulting from your spouse's errors or omissions. The IRS has specific forms and procedures for requesting this relief. If you're having trouble resolving your issue with the IRS, the Taxpayer Advocate Service, TAS, can help. TAS is an independent organization within the IRS that assists taxpayers facing financial hardship or delays. They can help you navigate complex situations and ensure your rights are protected. If you don't respond to a CP notice or fail to resolve your tax debt, the IRS may begin collection actions. This can include wage garnishment, bank levies, or filing a federal tax lien. The collection process is structured and includes several warning letters before any enforcement action is taken. Responding early can help you avoid these consequences. A tax lien is a legal claim against your property for unpaid taxes, while a levy is the actual seizure of property or funds. The IRS will notify you before taking these actions, giving you a chance to resolve your debt. Understanding the difference between liens and levies can help you take the right steps to protect your assets. The best way to avoid future CP notices is to file accurate and timely tax returns. Double-check your information, keep good records, and respond promptly to any IRS correspondence. If you move, update your address with the IRS to ensure you receive important notices. Staying organized and proactive can save you time and stress. Receiving a CP notice doesn't necessarily mean you're being audited. Most CP notices are automated and address specific issues, while an audit is a more in-depth review of your tax return. If you are selected for an audit, the IRS will send a separate notice explaining the process and what documents are required. The term CP notice refers to a computer paragraph notice, which is an automated letter sent by the IRS to communicate specific information or issues regarding your tax account. Each notice is identified by a unique number and addresses a particular concern, such as underreported income, unpaid taxes, or the need for additional documentation. Understanding the concept of a CP notice is essential for managing your tax responsibilities and responding appropriately to IRS communications. Each CP notice from the IRS comes with a specific notice number, such as CP 2000 or CP 14. This number helps identify the type of issue being addressed and guides you on how to respond. The notice number is usually found at the top right corner of the letter. Knowing your notice number is crucial when seeking help or looking up information about your situation. As a taxpayer, you have specific rights when dealing with the IRS, including the right to be informed, the right to challenge the IRS's position, and the right to appeal decisions. Understanding your rights can help you navigate the process confidently and ensure you're treated fairly. The IRS is required to explain your rights in every notice they send. IRS collection actions refer to the steps the IRS can take to collect unpaid taxes, such as sending notices, imposing penalties, garnishing wages, levying bank accounts, or filing tax liens. These actions are taken only after multiple attempts to resolve the issue. Understanding the collection process can help you avoid severe consequences by responding early and working with the IRS. An installment agreement is a payment plan that allows you to pay your tax debt over time. The IRS offers several types of installment agreements based on the amount owed and your financial situation. Applying for an installment agreement can help you manage your debt and avoid more severe collection actions. An offer in compromise is an IRS program that allows eligible taxpayers to settle their tax debt for less than the full amount owed. The IRS considers your ability to pay income, expenses, and asset equity when evaluating your application. This option is best for those who cannot pay their full tax liability and meet strict eligibility criteria. Penalty abatement is the process of having certain IRS penalties removed if you can show reasonable cause for not meeting your tax obligations. Common reasons include illness, natural disasters, or other circumstances beyond your control. You must submit a written request and provide documentation to support your claim. Innocent spouse relief is a provision that protects individuals from being held responsible for their spouse's or former spouse's tax errors on a joint return. If you qualify, the IRS will remove your liability for the taxes, interest, and penalties related to your spouse's mistakes. This relief requires a formal application and supporting documentation. The Taxpayer Advocate Service, TAS, is an independent organization within the IRS that helps taxpayers resolve problems they can't fix through normal channels. TAS assists with financial hardship cases, delays, and other complex issues. They work to ensure taxpayers are treated fairly and their rights are protected. To sum up, receiving a CP notice from the IRS can be stressful, but understanding what it means and how to respond is crucial. Always read your notice carefully, gather supporting documents, and respond by the deadline. If you're unsure, seek professional help or use IRS resources. Staying organized and proactive can help you resolve issues quickly and avoid future problems. Remember, the IRS is required to explain your rights and provide clear instructions in every notice. Take control of your tax situation and stay informed.